following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Cowboys! This is Mick Shots, streaming live on DallasCowboys.com and the official Dallas Cowboys app. Now, here are Bill Jones, Savannah Humoller, Everson Walls, and Mickey Spagnola.
Fabulous fight song, football Friday, and doesn't Stampede just blow away Hail to the Commanders?
Hail to the Commanders. They changed the name of the song,
is that really
too?
what they did?
I don't know if they did or not, but I just said
I was going to say they just replaced Commanders with Rescue.
If we would have kept Stampede all these decades,
maybe things would have changed,
that's right. Well,
At least we bring it
sometimes
back,
there's
you
room
know?
for change. I'm sorry. I love that song, but to think of the years back then, like, not for me.
There better be some stampeding on Sunday.
there better be. That's exactly right.
Well,
Cowboys,
they said they're not playing anybody. Everybody's going to be sitting down for the Commanders.
Have they said that, or have they, or the reporters have said that?
Reporters said
Yeah,
that.
I think that's the.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, by golly,
who's
Sam
sitting
Howell's
down?
Sam Howell's playing.
Mm-hmm.
Is he?
Yeah,
He's going to be the first Washington quarterback to start every game during a regular season since 2017.
And then they'll sit him down in the second series.
Well, that
No,
part
no,
I
he's
don't
gonna play
know.
the whole
No,
time.
he's playing. He's
How
playing.
do you know that? You talk to the coaches?
He's playing for a.
Well, no, I take that back. Because Jacoby Brissett is limited in practice now, he's not out. I mean, there is a chance that they could go to Brissett at some point. But
Do they have a third stringer?
yes, it's Jake Fromm, former Georgia quarterback.
Oh, yeah, I remember him.
Yeah.
But
So-
see, Howell's got a vested interest in this, because if he can produce a win, that'll reduce the Commanders' chances of having the second pick in the draft to draft a quarterback.
So it's
So-
just
He has something to fight for. Sam Howell has something
So
to
what?
fight for.
So if they
on
win,
Sunday.
then they won't draft a quarterback? Is that what you're saying?
Well, they won't get
be
the-
able to draft the number 2 quarterback in the
Okay, they'll
number
still
2
get another
pick in
quarterback.
the draft.
Well, that
more than-
benefits him. If it's
There'll
the
be
third
another one
quarterback.
down there somewhere that will probably be more enticing than him. I don't know. I'm just saying. I don't know if that makes much of a difference.
He's
for
playing for his job.
Anybody got an injury report handy?
Maybe.
Washington.
Yeah, I want a Washington injury report, and you can tell a lot. It doesn't take any sources with the Washington football team for the reporters in Washington to come up with the idea that they're going to be sitting some veterans.
Okay,
look
let's-
at the injury report.
Let's see which.
Start
of these,
with Jonathan Allen.
Yeah, we'll start with the ones that are important.
Yeah.
Okay. Jonathan Allen, by the way, is first on the list, but it's alphabetical. Has not practiced all week with a knee.
And he played last week. He played every play last week, basically.
Brissett was full on Thursday.
Okay.
Tariq Castro-Fields did not practice.
He was their starter last 2 weeks ago or last
At
week, and
cornerback?
left with a shoulder injury.
Okay.
But he is he's not one of their regular starters.
Okay, that's what I thought. Safety Cam Curl went from full to DNP on Thursday.
He's a veteran guy.
Okay.
Okay, so that kind of.
So there's your DNP.
What'd I say? What did I say?
Kendall Fuller, cornerback,
He's a starter.
DNP both days.
There you go.
Christian Holmes, cornerback. He's out with a concussion, so if it's a concussion...
Well, he was a 7th-round pick last year, so he
probably out.
might play even with a concussion.
Yeah, he might.
No.
The infamous John Ridgway is limited.
I know him.
Wide receiver Curtis Samuel
There,
Went from full to DNP.
there
What
you
did I say
go.
before? What did I just say? They're not playing, guys.
Hamstring.
They're
not playing
safe.
anybody.
But
man.
what I'm saying is, it doesn't take an insightful. I mean, it doesn't take sources from the reporters in Washington to figure this out. All you got to do is look at the practice report,
Right.
and you got guys that are regular starters, and then all of a sudden they went to DNP, and
Yeah. It seems like their secondary is just
and they were depleted before.
not there right now.
Right.
There's a lot of people out.
So I saw in one of the Washington papers the reason why they don't want to win this game. There's 3 teams tied for the number 2 spot at 4-12, and right
which
now,
we discussed yesterday here on Big Shots.
But here's the deal: the Redskins. So when it comes to the
Commanders.
draft, I mean, yeah, Commanders, the Washingtons in my book. Okay, the tiebreaker for the draft is your strength of schedule. So right now, Washington has played. The teams they've played have 140 wins, and New England is next with 141 wins. So the game, as it was pointed out, could come down to the Falcons-Saints game, because the Falcons have played Washington and the Saints have played New England. So whoever might win that game might mess up their strength of schedule.
Boy,
So
the-
New
Got it?
England,
The
New England
nuances
could
of
move
the
ahead
NFL
of Washington in the
schedule.
draft order based on that.
Or they could tie
Okay.
if one of their guys picks up the extra
Okay,
win.
so I have
They don't want to win.
I have no idea what's available in the draft. So what quarterbacks are they going after in this top 2?
The top 2,
Caleb Williams.
before, and Drake May from North Carolina is another one that it's going back several months have been, this draft has great quarterbacks
Okay.
because of those 2. And now
Okay.
you add the Washington quarterback who you're going to watch in the national championship
Penix.
game
Yeah.
on Monday.
And Jaden Daniels.
And Daniels.
I'm not
Yeah.
sure where he fits in.
And there's I haven't studied it yet, but
Right.
there are several quarterbacks. There are a lot of quarterbacks in this draft.
Okay.
So-
And once again, my thing is, why if it's several, then why are we worried about?
Because you want the best choice.
Because
Right.
there are many years, as you know, where you might have 4 quarterbacks taken in the top 10, but only one of them really turns out.
And that my point is they might pick the wrong one.
That's right.
So
It's
regardless,
like
they
Houston.
still might
How about
pick the
Houston
wrong
last
one.
year? And not to say Bryce Young might have a great career.
Right.
Okay, he may go
Right.
on to have a great career.
Correct.
But what did Houston do last
They
year?
got
Lovie
CJ.
Smith. They went and won that last game, and so they forfeited the opportunity to get the top pick in the draft.
Who's playing
So
well?
they and Carolina got the top pick in the draft, and they took Bryce Young. Well, Houston had to settle for the second pick, and that's
damn.
C.J. Stroud.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
And
see,
see, to
Now,
me,
but Houston, if they had the first pick, they might have made a mistake in taking Bryce Young instead of C.J. Stroud. Who
and so
knows?
to me, guys, we know
Something
doggone
else.
well the pedigree in college is great. But when it comes to the pros, there's no guarantee.
No.
Not even close
but you
to
want,
a guarantee.
You want the first choice. Because
Well, the
if
other
I
Bears-
say you work with what you got.
if the Bears don't take a quarterback with the first pick,
Uh-huh.
then the second pick gets their choice of quarterback. That's the point.
The Bears, what were they, like 5-2 or something last 7 games, right? They were playing well.
Yeah, they were playing well.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. They fired some people. Fields is doing well. If I was Chicago, I would not be worried about a quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah, but where it works for Chicago is, since if they feel that Fields is their guy, is with the first pick in the draft, they've got all the ammunition right there. Okay, come and get it. You
Trade
know,
down.
and
And then
you
the
trade
second
down,
pick,
and then
yeah.
you got another pick that's going to be in the top 10. Your
I think
own
they're at 9 or 10.
something like that.
You can still do all of that within the top 5. It doesn't have to be the one.
But you get your choice.
I understand.
Why is that so hard?
It's not hard, but my thing is, it ain't the end of the world.
Well, here's the other thing. If
That's what I'm saying.
If we're talking
to be
about
so much into I gotta get the one. No, dude.
if you're the Golden Bachelor, don't you want to have the first
You
pick?
see what he did.
Oh my gosh.
You see what he did. So come on.
And now he's got commercials for
Not
hearing
the
aids.
Golden Bachelor. Where did this take a turn?
This is Mick shots. That's on him. I'm just reacting.
Okay, so if you're the Commanders, what do Sunday? Do you play it out? You want to play? If you're Sam Howell, you're playing for that spot.
Players are playing hard.
Players
who are
hard.
playing in the game are playing hard.
Right.
It's an organizational decision whether they want to get the highest pick. They'll
Let's
never
put it
admit
this way: if Terry McLaurin doesn't play, then we know something's up.
Well, but Terry McLaurin, I think, will play.
Yes.
He's like 27 yards away from a 1,000-yard season, which would be his
how long will
fourth
they
straight.
play is really the key.
Right.
You can start Howell, and I guess Howell wants to win. I don't know whatever you guys are talking about. But McLaurin can get his 27. McLaurin get his 27.
Well,
they're not really going. These sound like personal
goals,
goals that they're going for.
And they may have incentives in contracts too.
Once they meet
talk about Washington versus New England. How's New England handling it? You got Belichick.
I know what Belichick's going to
do. And they're playing the Jets.
Belichick is like Tom Landry. You think of what Tom Landry would do. Mm-hmm. He's going to play. They're going to play.
And if this is Belichick's last game, he for sure doesn't want his last game as a New England coach to be a loss to the New York Jets.
How did you play that last game in '88?
In '88? We tried hard. I'm sure we tried hard. Who did we play? I bet I played the whole game.
It was...
You got the...
There
we go.
I was going to say... But see, because you guys lost, you ended up with the first pick.
Did we lose?
Well, I'm
Philly.
assuming you did.
It was against Philly. 88. 23
I promise you, Tom Landry tried his best, and I'm sure he.
But that was where Green Bay won their last game,
right,
and lost out on Troy Aikman. So there's your example there, Mickey.
That's what I was.
That's your.
Yes,
I'm helping you out there,
I just couldn't remember who they played. I knew,
but I don't
Green
think,
Bay won.
Yeah, but the Cowboys, we weren't trying to be involved in that in regards to a negative way. We were trying to win the game. We just couldn't.
So then '89 was the first round pick for the Cowboys?
Yes.
And that would be
first pick in the
one
first round.
Troy
First
Aikman.
pick, first round.
And Green Bay took Mandrich.
Say it again?
They took Mandrich.
Yes, Tony Mandrich.
How'd that turn out?
Not well.
Mm-hmm.
And the Cowboys lost that game to Philadelphia 23-7.
But my thing is, I think we all played.
Okay.
I think we all played. That's the
my
point. We just
question
sucked.
But the Cowboys need to play.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless of the Washington
all
approach to this game, the Cowboys need to play. It's a playoff game, right?
Well,
Exactly.
Jerry said it. I saw Zach Martin say it. I saw Dak say it. Jaron Curse said it. So I assume somebody has said that to them in a meeting that this is a playoff game.
I don't know
So
that
Dak can go from what? Being number one in interceptions one year and then number one in touchdowns the next?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Did you like the way he answered the question?
I did not. I didn't hear it. I'm sorry.
He was like, he didn't act like it was this miraculous turnaround. He's still sticking to, well, there were some things that happened last year, tip passes,
Of course.
things like that. Now, I threw some bad interceptions like I have this year, but he basically didn't buy into, I was so bad because I threw
No, I wouldn't buy into that either.
Interceptions.
How many touchdowns did he have last year? He was in the 30s, right? And so I think what I'm
question.
saying is he's still throwing dimes as far as touchdowns are concerned.
I mean,
he was still gunslinging it. And that's not what he wants to be as a gunslinger. He wants to be a guy that not manage either, but to control the game himself.
It was 23-15.
God dang, that's all he got?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
23
23 touchdowns
That's all?
last year?
last year.
I
Is
thought
that
he had
right?
more than that.
I don't know. Hang on.
Well, I thought I looked.
No,
I could have read something different.
In that regard, he can't deny the fact that this is a huge turnaround. He just can't. I know he doesn't want to, but
Well, he was not talking about the touchdowns. He was talking about the interceptions.
I'm talking about the overall.
Yeah.
I mean the overall. His game overall, you can tell the difference. It's a clear difference.
And he only played 12 games.
But he only played 12 games. He's already played 16.
Yeah, well, if you don't play 12 games, but you got all these damn interceptions, you see what I'm saying?
It's the interception
it's
to
the
touchdown
interception.
ratio.
It's still,
It's 1 to 4 this year.
But I'll
8 picks,
guarantee you-
32 touchdowns. It was whatever the ratio 15 to 23 is last year.
I'll guarantee you 7 of them weren't his fault.
I agree. We were right there.
So we're back down to 8. So it's 8 to 23 last year. We could get it down a little bit more than that.
So now it's it's 32,
We get optimistically.
32 to 8. So, but anyway, yeah. So they understand, I think.
They better. All you got
Well-
to do is look at the standings.
I went back and,
Yeah.
and a lot of people keep asking about last year when Washington beat him in the last game, 26-6, I believe it was. They were awful.
Yeah.
They had
Who's they?
the Cowboys.
Cowboys.
Cowboys had 15 possessions. 11 of the possessions did not have a first down. 11.
It reminds me of the Arizona game.
And everybody's acting like Howell won that game last year. He was 11 of 19 for 169 yards, a touchdown, interception. His quarterback rating was 83. He rushed for 35 yards, though. So, and they had some guy, and Bill, you just helped me with the first name because I didn't have time to look it up. They ran for 151 yards, and some guy, Jay Patterson, had 70.
Jarrett Patterson.
Jarrett Patterson.
Jarrett Patterson.
the infamous-
Jarret. Jarrett Patterson.
Why is he infamous?
Yeah.
I don't think we've heard of him since, right?
Where'd he go?
He may be back with Washington now.
Is
I'll
he?
have to look it up.
Yeah.
What did he?
And they had,
what position did he play?
And by the way, they had
Running back.
interception for a touchdown, too.
I got to say, giving Zach and Lamar
No,
their
he's not
flowers,
with
if I'm not
Washington at the
mistaken,
moment.
along with the great numbers that they both have.
He's on their practice squad.
I think another number that impressed me was both of them got hit more than any other quarterbacks in the NFL. And they still were able to amass the numbers that they had.
Yeah.
Quarterback hits by both of them. They got, I believe, sacked and maybe hit more than all the other quarterbacks in the top 10 and top 15. And to be hit that often and to have the resilience, I'm talking Lamar and Dak, to have the resilience to come back and have the numbers that they have, that's some Teflon stuff right there.
So you think the hits are because they're stubborn and hang in the pocket, or a mixture of that and people coming after
It's
them
both.
all the time?
It's both. I know with with Dak, it is lots of blitzes. He's seen, we talked about that yesterday.
Right.
He's seen a great amount of blitzes. I don't know if he saw more than Lamar did, though. Lamar may have just gotten more hits because he runs more. I don't know. But both of them, the resilience that they both showed this year, with those numbers, pretty impressive.
And that's why they're MVP
That's
in
why
the
they're
conversation.
in that conversation.
It's not in their DNA to throw the ball away. By God, I'm going to make something happen.
And Lamar had always done that.
Yeah.
Of course, Dak tried not to do that. He tried to be that, typical pocket passer. That's, unless you're Brady or even Aaron Rodgers, loves to get outside the pocket. You love to get outside the pocket and have a better view. And both of them they're not afraid to do that. I like it.
And he started off the season the other way.
Opposite, right?
Right?
Right.
And then after that San Francisco
I
game.
think that's bad. I think that came from bad advice. I think the improvisation, I think that was on him. I think they still want him to be perfectly in the pocket. Of course, that's the optimum way to do it, but I don't.
And
He
they were
started
thinking
moving
that
better
was going to
after.
cut down on
turn
interceptions.
it-
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, he started moving better way after the Sanford
Well,
game.
he was like controlled chaos as far as I could see it. I'm not in the pocket. I'm outside the pocket, but I'm still in control.
Okay, we're past time for our first break.
And Bill's in
there is
control.
a running back who found a new home yesterday in Baltimore. Were the Cowboys interested in that running back? And how about this? We got a national championship game coming up on Monday. I've got a trivia question for you. Think about it during the break. What former Michigan and Washington quarterbacks were Rose Bowl MVPs, national champions, have a Super Bowl ring, and currently are quarterback coaches for division champion teams.
That's too much to think about.
What former Michigan and Washington quarterbacks were Rose Bowl MVPs, national champions in college, have Super Bowl rings as players, and currently are quarterback coaches for division champion teams in the NFL? Next on Mick Shots.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys.
And they snap it to Prescott, who looks right. It's not there. He escapes left. He'll run for a first down.
Just like football, when it comes to crypto, it's important to have a team you can trust. With blockchain.com, I know I'm in good hands. Since 2011, they've been trusted by millions around the world to buy, sell, and trade cryptocurrency.
Prescott's going to run this himself. Run it up the middle, and he scores.
Whether you're new to crypto or an active trader, they've got you covered. What are you waiting for? Get started at blockchain.com.
We know that juicy, cheesy, grilled to perfection burger sounds amazing, but it does sound like something is missing. Pepsi, baby! The yin to this burger's yang. Burgers and Pepsi go together like burgers and Pepsi. This perfect blending of flavors makes every bite of lettuce, every sesame seed on the bun, and every sip of that crisp, refreshing, ice-cold cola a journey to Foodtopia. Burgers, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
Did you know that responding to one spam call can lead to more? Or that the IRS would never ask for your social security number on the phone? Beat scammers at their own game by subscribing to AARP Fraud Watch Network alerts and texts. At aarp.org/beatscammerstx, you can sign up to receive information that helps you recognize and avoid the latest scams. That's aarp.org/beatscammerstx.
Back to Mick Shots.
K-Post Roofing and Waterproofing, the official roofer of the Dallas Cowboys.
Okay, my trivia question with the national championship game coming up on Monday. What former Michigan and Washington quarterbacks were Rose Bowl MVPs, national champions in college, have a Super Bowl ring, and currently are quarterback coaches for division champion teams? And we've stumped the panel here. However, Producer Supreme has a guess.
Well, Greasy's one of them. He's the
Brian Greasy, quarterbacks
Greasy's
coach, San Francisco 49ers.
Never would have come up with that.
Yeah,
Never.
way off.
He left the booth to go become a coach, which is kind of crazy.
And the
Has
other
the
one,
other one been a TV guy and analyst?
the other one was at AT&T Stadium on Saturday night. The Detroit Lions quarterback coach, Mark Brunell.
Wow.
Oh,
I didn't know he was a QB coach.
Mm-hmm.
So
I
two
didn't
QB
either.
coaches.
I always liked him.
Yep.
Jacksonville.
There you
right?
go.
Was Jacksonville?
All right.
Yeah,
So there was your
long
trivia
time.
question.
Man, he's good.
Not guess that.
He was good.
Okay.
That was too
Continuing
much,
on.
Bill. That was harsh. That was harsh. that was a tough one. That's for honor roll classes. This is not honor roll. We're like more remedial.
Especially we have to remember all that.
Right.
Well, the key, the biggest clue on that was the quarterback coaches of division champion teams. So,
But Brunell, God, UW?
yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Didn't know that. So you
Had
got
a
another lefty
19-year
coming out.
career
Got
in the
another lefty
NFL.
coming out of UW.
I didn't know he was
Yeah,
coaching.
because
Yep.
Penix is lefty, and that's nice.
Yep. So there you go.
All right.
All right. Tell me about this illness that has cropped up on the Cowboys practice report.
How many guys did they have out with illness? Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4 guys out with illness. Wanye Thomas, Malik Hooker, he also has an ankle. Chauncey Golston and Chuma Udoga, illness.
Okay, so what are we thinking on the offensive line? Who's going to line up left or right on Sunday afternoon at 3:25 against Washington?
Well, left guard's going to be either questionable or doubtful on Tyler Smith, and a lot's going to have to depend on what happens tomorrow. Because he has not practiced yet.
Lyle?
No.
Oh, sorry.
TJ Bass.
TJ Bass.
Let's go.
Okay.
Although, on the scout team, Lyle Collins worked at left guard, which was his original position when he got to the Cowboys. Left guard before they moved him to tackle.
So now you see the reason that they brought him in after the Tyler Smith injury.
They wanted experience, and he actually, I mean, I don't know how he practiced, but physically looking at him, he looked good.
He sounded good. He sounded happy.
Oh, he was ecstatic.
You could tell. That's one of the best interviews I've heard from an offensive lineman.
Was he as happy as when he signed with the Cowboys as a college free agent at that press conference?
Almost.
Because the second time around, he seemed to really be appreciative.
He's back home. He's back home.
That's
in Dallas,
basically that's what
sure.
he said.
Yeah.
I mean, he was good in the interview.
He really was.
They asked him, tackle, guard. He goes, whatever they want. Fullback, I'm in. So,
what I liked seeing yesterday on the injury report was Rico Dowdle full in practice. He was limited on Wednesday, but we need him back in there. We need to really establish the run game a little better going in Sunday.
Yeah, even Pollard admits that.
Yeah.
Speaking of running backs, Dalvin Cook has signing with the Baltimore Ravens. Are you surprised at all at the Cowboys, or what's the intel on the Cowboys' interest, if there was any, in Dalvin Cook?
I got a feeling that interest was agent provoked. Because if you got a guy without a job and you trying to get him a job, the first thing they always used to say is, oh, the Cowboys are interested. Just to get everybody else's attention to say, oh, we don't want the Cowboys to get that guy.
Everyone else will jump on it.
And I don't think the Cowboys were.
I don't think so either.
According to Nate, the guy's just not that good.
You know what? I watched him last night. Went back and looked at his. He had, against Atlanta in Week 13 was his best week with the Jets. He had 9 carries for 35 yards and 1 catch for 11 yards and a fumble in that game. 18 snaps. That was Week 13. That was December 3rd. The following week against Houston, he had 7 carries for 13 yards, 1 catch for -5. That was a 30-6 win for the Jets over Houston. And in that game, Breece Hall had 10 carries for 40 yards and 8 catches for 86 yards. So he had 18 touches for 126 yards and a touchdown, while Dalvin Cook had 8 touches for 8 yards in that game. And then Miami, the following week, neither one of them did very well. And then against Washington, Cook got 5 snaps, no carries, and last week did not participate against Cleveland.
Do you
and
think
Breece Hall against Washington a couple of weeks ago had 32 touches for 95 yards rushing and 96 receiving, so whatever that adds up to from scrimmage, nearly 200 yards from scrimmage on 63 snaps. They decided in the New York that Breece Hall is going to be our guy, and then I was watching just in blitz pickups and stuff. Dalvin Cook did not look like he was into that.
And that may have had. I always thought the Aaron Rodgers injury had a lot to do with him not playing. I don't know how, but it seemed to be a factor.
How old is he now?
Cook is 28.
That's sort of the line of demarcation for running backs. 28.
For
most, except
if you know that as a running back, then you better know how to do other things. You better know how to have a blitz pickup. You better be that guy that can do other things other than what they brought you there for.
So he was drafted in the second round in 2017. So year after Zeke was drafted in 2016. But basically the same age as Zeke. He turned 28 August 10th. And he's a 4-time Pro Bowler, but think of all the carries that he's had in his career, and so there's just not that much tread. And the other part of it with the Cowboys, the third running back has got to play special teams, and Dalvin Cook hadn't played special teams.
And that's why it hurt Deuce to be active as a third running back, because he can't help him on special teams if he's not the returner, and he's not the returner. So that's what hurt him, getting more of a chance than he did.
And just looking at Breece Hall, comparing him with Dalvin Cook in that Jets offense, which was behind a bad offensive line, Breece Hall was head and shoulders above him. I can understand why they decided to saddle up with him.
Breece looked like Pollard last year,
and Hall was coming off an injury earlier in the season too. So he's healthy now. So
that's true.
Now, having said that, Baltimore will figure out a way to use him, and probably, but we'll see. They've had all sorts of injury issues at running back in Baltimore.
He's blessed to be put in that situation.
So the Jets did him a favor by letting him go letting him catch on with a team that can make a long playoff run.
So signing to the practice squad, Sadadrick Thompson didn't get you excited?
He's a young guy, rookie, undrafted. Was he undrafted out of Texas Tech? He's out of Ranch View High School in Carrollton, and right there in Valley Ranch. So
he just had to drive over, right? Made it.
But he was
easy.
with Seattle. We saw him. Did we? We played Seattle in the preseason,
yes,
didn't we? Yeah,
he was on the practice squad.
Yeah. So Roderick Thompson. I know my Texas Tech friends love him. He's a tough runner, but. And I look at that as much as you get him in here, and for next year, you got him in here for a week to however long the playoff run lasts on the practice squad. Get him in here, and then he can. He didn't time well at the combine.
Right. You could sign him as a future. That's why they're looking at some of these other guys.
Right.
Probably Racy McMath also.
Mm-hmm.
You get however many weeks you're going to play now, and then you just basically say, okay, when the season's over, you sign him as a futures guy, which I think they'll still do. It sounded like with Martavius Bryant, who they let go. And also sometimes when they sign, I don't remember if I said this yesterday, they sign guys sometimes for practice purposes that they got to fill a spot. So they needed another running back with Deuce going on the practice squad. So, yeah, sometimes it works out that way. Now, obviously, with Damian Wilson and La'el Collins, they're looking for guys to be ready, and we'll see how long it takes La'el to ramp up to be ready.
All right, so remind me on Malik Davis.
Football.
Is he...
He's out of elevation. So, but you get another one.
So will they... He's out of elevation, so will they sign him to be available on Sunday?
I doubt it.
Okay. So your running backs are
Rico and Pollard
and Lipke.
Yeah.
Everson's favorite.
And you're hoping
I keep that.
But by the way, that's the other thing. That's the other thing on Dalvin Cook. They were with the Jets. They were using in third down situations rather than have Dalvin Cook on the field. They had their fullback Nick Bodden on the field as their protector, basically. That tells you a lot about how they felt about Dalvin Cook in pass protection, too. So, all right, we continue with our picks to click and our picks for the game on Sunday when Mick Shots continues in a moment.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
Cowboys football and Miller Lite. What a pairing. Can cracks at kickoff. Tailgates going way past postgame. Sunday night overtimes followed by Monday morning swagger. Brisket in the smoker. Miller Lite in the cooler. America's team playing America's greatest sport. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys football tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2023 Miller Brewing Company, Fort Worth, Texas.
Did you know that responding to one spam call can lead to more? or that the IRS would never ask for your social security number on the phone? Beat scammers at their own game by subscribing to AARP Fraud Watch Network alerts and texts. At aarp.org/beatscammerstx, you can sign up to receive information that helps you recognize and avoid the latest scams. That's aarp.org/beatscammerstx.
You know that sound anywhere. It's the crisp crunch of that first nacho chip. With its perfect cheese to sour cream ratio sitting atop a layer of delicious beans, it's a sip away from perfection. That's what we're looking for. Add a delicious, refreshing Pepsi and we've achieved absolute nacho nirvana. Because while you can pile those nachos high with every spicy, cheesy, savory topping, there's no topping a cool Pepsi finish. Nachos, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
Back to Mick Shots.
Enjoy premier dining, shopping, and experiences from over 20 plus restaurants, shops, and more at the Star District. Check out the women's boutique Flea Style of Frisco and the official boot partner of the Dallas Cowboys, Lucchese. Enjoy New Year's celebrations at Snowbird Cocktail Lounge, Concrete Cowboy, and CityWorks Eatery and Poorhouse. Visit thestardistrict.com for the full directory. Guys, I want to talk about Coach McCarthy for a second.
Okay.
Coach McCarthy, 41 wins in his first 4 years with the Cowboys. That's the most of any Cowboys coach in their first 4 years. And I think earlier this week when I was listening to him in the press conferences, he's been extra chippy this week. And
he's
been extra chippy this week. I think he's playoff mode at this point. So I like seeing it. I think we haven't talked enough about how well he's been doing as a play caller this season and how there's been a lot of success coming out of it because of Coach McCarthy.
So when we brag on Dak, then we should be also bragging on McCarthy.
We should.
Yeah.
And I think Dak gave him his due when he answered the question about play calls, too.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it was nothing against Kellen Moore.
No.
It was just kind of how things were arranged, I think, and emphasized.
There were times last year when you could see he had to take up for Kellen. And, you know, he let it slide for the entire season, but not this season.
That's interesting. I didn't think of it that way about wins to start a career.
12, what?
Because Tom got off to basically a 5-year false start, right? I mean, it was 5 consecutive losing seasons. Jimmy was 2. Switzer would have been close, right? Except for the 4th season when they went 6-10. Gailey only had 2. Obviously, Campo didn't. Jason had 3 straight 500. Wade had 3 of the 4 winning seasons. Bill actually started off well and then fell off the next year and then had 2 winning seasons. So, yeah.
12 is a good number. Is it 12 we're going for?
12.
Third straight 12-win season.
That's really good.
That is good.
Honestly.
And the first 3 consecutive double digits since 91 through 96.
Nice.
So Switzer went 12-4 in 94, 12-4 in 95, and then 10-6 in 96.
So 34 and 16, is that right? Real quick, off the top of my head.
If you say so.
12-4 and 12-4. It's 24-8.
Okay, before we get into our picks to click, Producer Supreme, what was that trivia question that you posed to us off the air?
The trivia question was on Cowboy storylines
Okay.
for free tickets to the Washington game, actually.
Okay.
So the trivia question was what player returned a punt return versus the Cowboys, and then later in the year led the Cowboys in punt return yardage?
Oh, punt return yardage.
And led the Cowboys, you said?
Led the Cowboys in the same year. So played the Cowboys in the opening game and returned a touchdown versus the Cowboys, and then joined the Cowboys and led the team in punt return yardage.
In the same year.
In the same year.
And he went to Oklahoma.
And hold on a second. I got a guy back here. You might want to talk to him.
Bill, I am shocked because this is an Oklahoma guy. He was sweet. I am shocked.
What do you mean you're shocked?
Yeah, that you didn't come up with it when I said Oklahoma guy?
I've got it. I was letting everybody else play.
Bill, you have
As
it. You
Bill
have
was
it.
scrolling through.
Right. He's been up.
Yeah, we're all like
He's been all
visually.
in that media guidebook.
I had it. I just had to confirm it.
Nate in the break was like, it said Oklahoma, and then you see the Oklahoma radar go up, and it's like, boom, boom, boom.
Bill, you have at it.
His
This is all
his
you.
son plays in the NFL now.
For the Giants.
The late Derek Shepard. The late,
Derek
great
Shepard.
Derek
I thought
Shepard.
of that, but I didn't remember him playing for somebody else.
New Orleans.
And he played for
Before he
Washington
came
before
here.
that.
Yes, but he played for New Orleans the opening game, and he had a punt return for a touchdown against the Cowboys.
In Jimmy's
Jimmy,
first game.
I was there.
And
I was too.
Everson was.
and he ended up
Were you
being-
playing special teams, Everson?
Heck no.
Oh, okay.
So and then he got cut, and Jimmy picked him up, and then he led the team in punt returns.
For 160 yards.
I wasn't on punt coverage. I was on punt return.
There you go.
Jimmy picked him up on the advice of Barry Switzer. I just made that up, but
I was ready
played
to
in
believe it.
Oklahoma,
I was
so-
ready to believe that.
Shep Dog. That's what they nicknamed him.
all right, very good. That was a good trivia. We had a couple of trivia questions.
Yeah, we did.
Here. All right, time for our picks.
This is a tough one.
That might mean we didn't have
What's a
enough
tough
to
one?
talk about.
Just this right here. I don't know how bad I want to be.
Washington.
Yeah.
On Sunday.
Yeah, I don't know how bad I want to be. I want how much credit I want to give them. It's crazy.
Are you ready to go?
Wait, what?
Yeah.
You want
ready
to
to make your
pass?
pick?
You want to pass?
I am not passing. Come on, I never pass. No, I'm going with this one. I'm going to be like Nate Newton said, man. Let's just blow these fools out. I got to go for a big score. It's got to be something like 35.
Okay.
That's not big by Cowboy standards.
Well, on the road.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
35-10. That's what I have.
But on the
Cowboys.
road against the NFC East,
See, that's
blown
why
people out.
I got a happy medium going here. So 35-10. So Dak and Micah.
And CD.
And C.
Wait. Okay. Yeah.
Remember
He's
the
saying
rules.
they're out.
No Dak, no Micah, no CD.
All right.
Throw them out.
We're throwing
Okay.
those out.
We might as well throw out Deron Bland too. Throw out all the Pro Bowlers. You can't pick a Pro Bowler.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
That's a good one. That's a good one. All right, I'm going with Brandon Cooks then.
Okay.
All
I'm
right.
going with Cooks. Cooks going to have 2 touchdowns. That's my
2 touchdowns for
2
Brandon
touchdowns
Cooks.
for Brandon Cooks.
All right, savvy.
All right. I'm going with the Cowboys 30-14.
Mm-hmm.
And I will pick Stephon Gilmore for my click to pick with 1 interception this game, considering Sam Howell has thrown 20 touchdowns this year and 19 interceptions. He's going to have another one on Sunday.
I almost
and
picked him.
Gilly's going to pick it off.
Almost.
Very good.
What was the score? 30?
30-14.
30-14.
Mickey?
I've got the Cowboys winning 30-0.
Ooh.
I could see that.
Nothing.
I could see that. I didn't want to give
A
him 10.
shutout.
Shutout.
Shutout on the road.
It brings
that.
back the end of the 2009 season when the Cowboys needed to beat Philadelphia to win the East, and they shut Philadelphia out 24-0.
Before we move on.
So a little Bill logic there.
So then Diggs and myself were safe then in regards to the interception lead.
Yes.
So the franchise lead. We're safe.
I feel like you're safe right now.
You feel like
you don't
I mean, Deron
He
Bland
can't
might come out of
can't
the
get
gate
3
and get
tonight.
one, but
Yeah.
Sunday.
Stephon Gilmore's only had 2 this year, so let's
But
get
you
one
don't
more
see
in
you
there.
don't see Bland.
I can't pick Bland. I also
Pro Bowl. Oh,
Yeah.
Pro Bowl.
Okay, my bad.
And my pick to click will be Rico Dowdle.
good one.
Wow.
That's a good one. Because he'll get a lot of time. Get a lot of time.
Well, he's going to get a lot of carries.
Yep.
And
why is he getting a lot of carries? It's a playoff game.
They're going to rest Pollard once they get up 24-0.
Mm-hmm.
And what was your score again?
30.
Okay.
And 30 might mean we get 3 field goals.
Which?
Does that work? Yeah.
And what happens with that?
He will set the NFL record for most field goals made without a miss.
Well, dang, I'm glad we pulled that out of you.
In one season?
In one season. In a single season, yes.
You said Dowdle will get 100 yards.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Nice. That's a good pick.
What's the most points the Cowboys have scored against Washington?
Well, you'll have to tell me.
Well, 2 years ago,
50?
They scored 56.
So Bill's got 56.
56 to 14
No,
2 years ago. That was in Dallas. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and it was 45-10 on Thanksgiving Day. Okay, so we need some field goals, though, also in there. So I'm going to go with I'll just go back to the one of my favorite all-time games, Everson. You remember it well. September 9th, 1985, the Cowboys beat Washington 44-14 on Joe Theismann's birthday in a Monday night football game.
And the fans,
5 picks. Was it 5 or 7?
Something.
5.
5 picks.
And the fans sang happy birthday to him after the last
That
pick.
was the first time I ever did a live shot, a satellite live shot in my life. I was working for a Lubbock television station.
Shout out to Victor Scott.
Victor Scott had one of those 5 picks?
2 of them. One of them returned for a touchdown.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So 44-14 is the final score. The Cowboys are winners, and Tony Pollard is my pick to click as he goes over 1,000 yards on the season. He needs 65 yards. And when the Cowboys faced Washington on Thanksgiving Day, he had 13 carries for 79 yards and a touchdown, 6 catches for 24 yards. So he had over 100 yards rushing and receiving. This would be a good day to go over 100 yards rushing and receiving again to prime for the playoffs.
And that's what this game better be about.
That's it. That's it.
Priming for the
That's
playoffs.
right.
Exactly.
Everybody, we're going to work on our stuff and be successful at it. Not just work on it. Be successful at it.
Win and win.
Get in and get out.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully the weather cooperates.
What's the forecast?
So, rain is a pretty good possibility. Snow tomorrow a little bit because there's a northeasterner hitting the East Coast. But I think on Sunday it's going to warm up just a tad. So
I think it's scarier when they say nor'easterner without the TH. I don't know why they do that.
And Savannah brought this up earlier in the week, it may have been yesterday, about who do you want to play in next week. So what are we thinking? Who are the Cowboys going to be playing next week? What do you think?
Nobody. Right?
No, there's no bye.
What?
San Francisco's got the bye.
I want to buy.
Okay, Everson's got the bye.
All right, so your choices are the Rams, the Seahawks, the Packers, right?
Mm-hmm. And the Saints, possibly.
And the Saints
right?
is also a possibility. By the way, Derek Carr's been playing pretty well here lately.
I want the Packers.
I don't know about that.
You want but not who. This isn't what we want, but who do we think what do you think will happen? Who do you think the Cowboys will be hosting next week in the playoffs?
What does it take for the Packers to be here?
Win.
They have to beat
They
the Bears.
They gotta beat the Bears.
And the Rams have to beat the 49ers.
And that's the last game.
I think that's what's going to happen. I think the Rams will beat the 49ers, and with Carson Wentz at quarterback against Sam Darnold, and the Packers. No, wait a second. No, here's what I think is going to. The Rams are going to lose to the 49ers. The Packers are going to lose to the Bears, and the Seahawks are going to beat Arizona, which gets the Seahawks in, right?
So you think we're going to host Seattle at home?
Seattle, and the Rams go to Detroit. That's what I want. I want the Rams going to Detroit.
So Seattle needs to win, and they need a Green Bay loss. How about New Orleans?
New Orleans needs a win.
Switch it up.
Seattle loss and a Green Bay loss.
Okay.
So those are kind of the...
And they still got a shot at the division. If Carolina beats Tampa and they win against Atlanta, they win that division.
Right.
So
I'm going with Green Bay.
Okay.
I think that's the.
You're hosting Green Bay. You're hosting Green Bay in Savannah.
Hosting Green Bay.
Hosting Green Bay.
And you got Seattle.
I got Seattle.
Okay.
So, all right. It's going to be very interesting. Get 2 games tomorrow, including a battle for a playoff spot between Houston and Indianapolis tomorrow night. And then it concludes after the Cowboys beat the Commanders on Sunday afternoon with Miami and Buffalo.
So what do you think's what's more likely for Seattle? They beat San Francisco?
Do what?
You need the Bears to beat Green Bay for Seattle to get in, right?
Seattle, if it plays Arizona.
Oh, Arizona.
Yeah.
Well, they can win that, right? The Rams
can, but Arizona.
Rams got San Francisco.
What's the Monday night game?
None.
No, there's no
Monday
night. Sunday
so
night.
we will know Sunday night.
Yep.
What is happening next weekend?
Actually,
we'll know before Sunday night what the Cowboys' fate is, but we won't know the game time and the date of it until Sunday night.
Is there a Sunday night game?
Miami and Buffalo.
Oh, that's right, because that was what people thought. Well, the Cowboys couldn't do it because they got to play the same time as Philadelphia.
Right. Okay. All right. So that does it for a fabulous football fight song Friday.
When we get back on Monday, we'll have a clear picture.
Yes, we will. All right. And so we will shout at you again Monday at high noon.
Go Cowboys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?